In today's first reading and in the gospel, it talks about giving thanks. And I don't want to get back into last week, but a continuation. I promise I won't talk finances this week. But I do want to thank you again because your very generous and sacrificial givings are just so deeply, deeply appreciated. And with that, also many of you sacrifice not only what you give financially, but also with your time. Also with your time, with the eggs, with the fish fry and the festival. It's so deeply grateful for not only giving of your financial means, but of yourself. Know that those and all the many activities we have here at the church make such an impact on who we are and what we do today. So thank you for that. Golfing legend Arnie Palmer, probably one of the most popular golfers there was. An author wrote a book, his name was John Feinstein, wrote about him. And in one of the chapters, he says about Arnie that players would complain to him all the time about constantly signing autographs, or the press, or even more annoying, all the amateurs would always ask these golf pros about their swing. And it apparently drives these pros crazy. And he would say, if you don't like it, no one is forcing you to do this. And then he would say, a lot of players don't understand how lucky we are to do what we do. He said, I look at my life and all I can do is be thankful for everything I've been given by so many people over the years. The author adds this to Palmer's comment. He says, Palmer played with 6 presidents, signed every autograph that was placed before him, granted every interview request. And when he talks about golf, he talks not what he did for golf, but what golf did for him. There's a man who's grateful for the game of golf. I was also reading a slew of articles this week. One of them is about Edvard Grieg, G-R-I-E-G. He's a classical composer, pianist, died in the early 1900s, world-renowned and famous for any of the people that are involved with classical music. You would have at least heard of him. During his early years when he was struggling and didn't really have any financial means or any popularity, somebody really assisted him in that whole process, making him become much more known and much more popular, and really Grieg credited his success to him. But later on, when Grieg was very popular and successful, his friend was dying and requested that a visit from Grieg, but he never went. He was just too busy. And I thought, how quickly we forget, don't we? All of us do. How quickly we forget. When we need help, we're grateful, but we forget so very, very quickly. Like those 10 lepers, all were healed, but only one remembered, didn't he? Only one remembered. There was an interesting study I read this past week. It involved 2 groups of people, and then they broke those 2 groups into 2 groups. They were college students, and so they took this group of college students and then broke them in half. To the one group of college students, they told them to do this task for a month. So every week they were supposed to list 5 things they were grateful for. That's it. 5 things they were grateful for, really one each day during the week. To the other group of college students, they told them to list their hassles or burdens, 1 a day for a week, and then do that over the course of a month. And then they took chronically ill people, either those that are paralyzed with deep paralysis, either waist down or the neck down, or chronic illnesses like MS where they're confined to the wheelchair. And they did the same thing. During the course of the week for a month, 1 week, list 5 things you're grateful for. The other group, 5 things that are a burden or a hassle to them. And they said the results were incredible. The results were astounding. And actually, these people that did this, that were in the psychology, actually continued their study, and it became more and more profound. You know, we think, oh, that's 5 things each week. That doesn't amount to much. It was amazing the profound results that it had in their lives, especially in 2 areas with the relationships. All those that did that, the relationships were better. They didn't take those for granted, and there was a better connection. And I thought, you know, maybe if any of you are struggling with relationships with your spouse or children, it may be a good idea to make a list. To make a list. Sounds very simple and trite, but it's very effective. It's very, very effective. And the same thing with mental health. They found that the ones that listed the positive things, they were less negative, less angry, and less depressed. We all struggle with those emotions, don't we? At times we're negative, at times we're angry, at times we're depressed. It's amazing just listing things out, what that can do for us. And it doesn't sound possible. It's like, how can this do this? And believe you me, this past week I was trying it. I did it. It's amazing what this simple little task can do to our lives, you know? Because we can get so caught up in negativity or anger and depressed. And as that study said, it actually makes us more optimistic in all areas of our life. And when we encounter negativity, it doesn't seem to impact as much. It doesn't impact as much. It's a very amazing thing. And it even has an effect on our faith as well. And this gospel points it out. You know, here these lepers asked Jesus to heal them, and he did. But listen what he says at the end. He said, "Stand up and go away. Your faith has saved you." There's no talk about faith here in this. They weren't healed because of their faith. What's he talking about? Gratitude, my friends, has an impact on our faith too, doesn't it? We all ask God for certain things, but when we're grateful, that impacts our faith and increases it. It increases it, just like it does in other areas of our life. And so this week, my friends, it's good for all of us. It's a simple little task, but it can have profound ramifications in our lives. To have a grateful and heart that's actually specific. We need to write them out, and then it'll have a profound effect in our life. God bless you.